They are a power couple in Adelaide City, running a successful business in Australia.
We build accessible housing for people with disabilities.
Yes, today, Bernard and Emily Tanui, who we featured before, invite us to their world as they revolutionize inclusivity through their outfit BET Group.
It's a new way of doing things.
Every person with a disability should live like anybody else in society.
Find out how they did it and why.
That's what we've lined up for you in today's episode of Daring Abroad. Amazing. It is a story of resilience. Emily suffered stroke, recovered, and see what she's put up with the support of her husband, Bernard Tanui. Let's get going.
Australia-based Bernard and Emily Tanui are the perfect illustration of a power couple. For years, the dynamic duo has been slowly but surely building an empire down under while cementing their names in Australia's corporate space. This is through their organization, BET Group.
So BET Group is a registered NDIS provider. We also provide support services to veterans. So that's the Department of Veterans in Australia. So these are veterans who are either aging or have a disability and require support. We also work with TAC, which is the Transport Commission in Australia. So supporting people with disabilities in those departments. So NDIS is the National Disability Insurance Scheme. It's the new way of how support for people with disabilities is provided in Australia. It's a new way of doing things, and I think it's going to become the way disability is provided in Western countries in how we have done it. For the first time, people with disabilities have choice for the first time. So before in Australia, the government would give funding to organizations and say, you look after these people with disabilities here, you look after people with disabilities here. But now the money and the plan comes to the person with the disability, and the person with the disability and the family then chooses which organization they want to provide support. So for the first time, people with disabilities have choice and control of how they receive support in Australia.
Yes, BET Group is all about supporting people with disabilities to live well and thrive through fostering capacity building, championing of community participation, engaging in community nursing, provision of in-home respite care, and construction of accessible housing.
So in Australia, you have to register, you have to be vetted by the NDIS Commission, and you become a registered provider. So you have to provide evidence, policies, standards, that you understand the standards of what the Commission is looking for, and then they register you to become either a provider for housing or provider for supports, or both. Also, if you want to build accessible housing for people with disabilities, you have to be a builder and understand what livability is and what the environment that someone with a disability requires. And then you get licensed, and then now your name or the name of the company goes on the NDIS portal. And if you're someone with a disability, when you get your plan, then you go on the portal and look, okay, who is around me that's providing those supports, or look at reviews on people's website or evidence. So you get someone called a support coordinator. I think they're changing that name now to navigator, someone who will help you navigate your plan and help you find the right provider. Yeah, and the goodness is, if you're not happy with your provider that you get, you can change. That's why there's choice and control within this scheme, and that's why it's amazing for people with disabilities.
Now, just a reminder that BET Group came out of a need from personal experience.
We started out of a tragedy. You know the story of when I had the stroke. So after being in rehab for about 18 months, it was time for me to go home. Rehabilitation center has to send an occupational therapist to the house to make sure that I'm being discharged to a safe environment. And when they came and they looked, it wasn't safe. So my amazing husband thought we rent our house and go out and rent an accessible house. We couldn't find one to rent an accessible house. And he decided, let's sell this house and buy an accessible house. We could not find one to buy. And that became the business. So now we build accessible housing for people with disabilities. And that's in 4 states now. We are in South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, and Western Australia. And we're excited.
Bernard Tenue is the managing director. Having background in building and design, Bernard runs all of BET Group's projects, which mostly entail construction of houses from the ground up as required by the government.
So Alex, this is an accessible house. The design is designed for somebody with a disability to be able to be accessible, or they can reach any item without any difficulty.
Okay.
To start off with the kitchen, as you can see, it's an open plan kitchen.
Open plan. We can take a look.
Yeah. So just from the lights, it's accessible. Somebody on a wheelchair can reach the buttons.
Yes.
They're wide enough. You know, even if the fingers are thin, they can still get to the lights.
And
without difficulty.
Ample space here.
Ample space, very ample space. As you can see, the cooker is still so accessible. You can see the oven, you can see the microwave.
Yes.
Even the refrigerator is all within reach for somebody with a disability or somebody on a wheelchair.
And the level of a wheelchair.
Yes, so the level, so the standard required has to be below 1 meter. Yes, from the ground.
But can they cook?
They can cook, yes. They can cook, yes. The only part that they can't cook is on this side, but they can cook using these buttons here.
Okay.
Yes. In real standard, they really should be able to, if they need to get utensils and everything, they're put down here.
Yeah. Oh, so they can use
They can use these drawers on the lower part. Yes. This other part might not be accessible for them, but just this is designed from the lower portion of cupboards is what they are supposed to be using.
Okay.
Yes. Same thing with the dishwasher. Even the sink is within level.
Within level.
Yes.
Okay.
Where they can access it easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
looks good. And lighting.
Yes. Lighting. Yes.
Lighting enough.
Correct. Then if we go up on this other side, this is the pantry.
Yeah.
With the pantry, also the same thing. Anything that's needed is below on this other shelf. So we have carers who support them in case they need to reach something on the top, or if they need some cooking that is not possible, they can't do it by themselves. The carers do it for themselves, for them. So another design is the bathroom. Again, non-slip tiles.
And I can see the space is wide enough for a wheelchair.
Correct. Very wide enough. Very wide. That's intentional. And non-slip tiles again, once more. And then the other thing is if somebody's on a wheelchair, they're able to roll themselves in, move into a bath chair, have a bath. You see, it's really accessible where the taps are.
So they sit on the chair?
Yes, they sit on the chair.
They can hold here?
They can hold on the rail. Yep, hold on the rail, that's for safety. Yep. They can also reach the taps. Yep, where they can turn on the taps, hot water and cold water, so that it's a lot, again, it's accessible for them, it's not too hard. All right?
This is accessible as well.
This is accessible as well, where they put their soap, detergents, So everything is within, it's accessible.
How about using the shower?
With the shower, yes. So with this one, they can also reach. So assuming they're using the bathtub, they're sitting on the chair, they can reach this and just pull it. And
it's within reach.
It's within reach. Correct. So it's again.
Then this is flexible.
Correct. It's flexible. Yes. All right. Then when you use a toilet commode, the toilet commode once more, you can wheel the wheelchair there. So somebody in a wheelchair can get off the wheelchair and sit
And use
sit
the rail
underneath
to
the
hold.
toilet. Correct.
So
and use the rail to.
these handles, the rails are very important.
Very
as
important.
a very important feature.
Correct.
Wow.
So it starts from design stage. So the timber used behind here is a lot stronger than the normal timber. Yes. So
okay.
you have to support somebody with 150 kilos. Yeah.
Wow.
So the design has been factored in. The weight has been factored in, similar to these ones here. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So even the sink here, as you can see, it's below a meter.
Yeah.
Yes, it's below 1 meter, so they can still access it.
What else?
Okay. So on the hallways, one
What
thing
is
also.
this? Yeah.
So at night, these ones come on. These lights come on, so they can see where they're going on the hallway. So it's automatic. So at night it comes on. If you turn off the lights, gets dark, it comes on automatically.
Okay.
So it just lights up the hallway.
Always a pleasure interacting with the Tanuis, and this is the second time, remember, we are bringing you their story, and they've kept on advancing. Time now to take a short break. We have more on that story in a moment.
Bernard and Emily Tanui have created a niche for themselves in Australia as a national disability insurance scheme provider. This has been through their outfit, BET Group, that has been supporting persons with disabilities to live a quality lifestyle by championing capacity building, community participation, and construction of accessible housing.
So for any participants to get any SDF funding to build this house, it has to be purpose built. You cannot do any renovations. It has to be from design stage. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When you say a participant getting funding, it's like you people?
Correct. Yeah, so the participants, people with any form of disability. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, of course, Emily told us about, but you can expound again.
Yes.
Emily's role and how you relate in terms
Correct.
of the business.
Yes. So Emily is the CEO of the company, and I'm the managing director of the company. So our roles are almost intertwined. However, she runs the day-to-day support bit of the business, and I run the building part of the business.
Design, given that's your area.
Correct. Yes.
You studied what? Design and architecture?
I did construction management.
Construction
and economics.
management,
Yes,
to
and
be
economics.
specific.
Correct.
And that's it, interesting.
Yes.
Construction management and economics.
And economics.
Those blend so well.
Very well. Very well indeed. Yes. So I'm able to.
No wonder
control.
you have a very thriving business. you
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Yes. We thank
Well
God.
done.
Thank God. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means then the sector is quite well regulated. That is
Yes.
the case.
That's correct. It's very well regulated. Every state has its own rules or regulations, but in terms of the NDIS, it's federal, so the rules are the same, and you just can't wake up and build.
Okay.
Yes, they're very heavily regulated. That's correct.
So who takes care, or rather who funds, who ensures the beneficiaries occupying are okay in food, whatever, the upkeep, is it on their own or how is it done?
So it's part of the package, part of the scheme. So when they come to, for example, they come to BET, there's an allowance that goes to their upkeep, that goes to their food, that goes to their social, going to the mall, going to the, so everything we control. We control the budget for them.
Okay.
Yes.
In addition to designing accessible housing, BET Group also has a battalion of about 300 employees offering community nursing and in-home respite care.
My name's Anne-Marie Glasbrook and I'm the Customer Engagement Manager at BET. I absolutely love my role because I get to work with some beautiful people that live in our houses, like the house that you've just been shown through. Rona, she's very special, and in all of our other houses throughout the state. What I like to be able to do is speak with our participants in our houses, and I try to be that sort of connection sometimes to our office. I work closely with all our office staff on basically trying to make everybody live well and thrive, which is our motto in our houses, but we really try to engage and work day to day with things that are going to be beneficial. to the lives of everybody in our houses. Our support workers are such an important part of the team, so I like to be able to have, know what's happening with the support workers, and then our office staff that also come out to our houses. And then we also have stakeholders, what we call stakeholders. So people that are very involved in our participants, whether they're physios or support coordinators or doctors. So having an awareness about what's happening with a holistic range to do with our participants. For this house, I try to visit. I would like to be here a lot more because it is a wonderful house and they're very engaging. When I come, we'll sit and we'll have a chat. And I would like to take it from Rona's or our participants' perspective of how are they feeling? Are they feeling everything's working well? Are there things that we can work on that may improve their livability at that time? Do they want to go on more outings? Are they not wanting to go on outings? So it's really trying to find out what is going to be as I said, a holistic range of things that makes them happy.
You can reach the handles on the showers to control the temperature of your water without having to stretch up here or anything.
No, I'm not. I knew I was just touching.
No, touch it. No touch it.
Okay, then behind.
Well, that's a shower chair. And we've got bar handles.
That's the shower chair?
Yes, but we've got handles round about the bathroom.
Okay.
So that you can all hold on to them when you're trying to stand up and move around.
If somebody's coming into one of our houses, it is a team effort. With our facilities here, that's they're shown through the house. When they come in, our support workers are also given training on each person that comes in. If it's a new participant coming into BET, they have a lot of training on how to support them well before they come into our houses. I will meet with their behaviour therapists or their doctors or whatever it might be, so we can give that training to our support workers, so they're from day one equipped to manage what's happening in the house. So in here is our office, which our support workers work out of. We obviously have a very good computer system, which is confidential, but they use to update their notes. We have our information up on the walls, which is really important and can be specified for the participants in the house.
Okay, like
for example, the wheelchair, or check your emails, because we like to update as much as possible. The thing we like to do in our offices is when support workers come in is have as much information readily available so they can support and easily accessible. We've got our filing cabinet, which is lockable, so we have anything private and confidential goes into there. Our appointments, we have the appointments boards up so we can easily see who's doing what on a particular day. So we like to keep it very uncluttered as much as possible, but it is just for support working staff. It's not for anybody else to come in. So it is a very private space. The rest of the house is for our participants, but this is definitely a work.
Currently, BET Group has successfully completed 24 accessible housing units with 65 still underway. This valiant effort by the Tanuis has not gone unnoticed.
I won a most outstanding CEO in Australia in the sector, and then I won the global one in London as well. And then as BET, we won Building Communities Award from Telstra. Telstra is it's like your Safaricom. So it's a big award to get. It's a very rigorous award to get, actually. So we are very proud of what we have done. We had breakfast with Obama. We wanted to have breakfast with impactful leaders, and we were part of that, and we are grateful for that.
Despite their accolades and success abroad, the power couple remains loyal to their motherland.
So BET, from the profit that we get as a family, we have been supporting Stop FGM, and we have so far saved 4,500 girls in the Rift Valley, and we want to continue to do more of that. We want to go deeper into Maasai land, we want to go deeper into Turkana land, because this is still ongoing. So we continue to do that, but now we are championing young people with disabilities in Kenya. So our biggest drive now is to make sure we have partnered with National Council of People with Disabilities in Kenya, and we want every child with a disability that finishes Standard 8 to go on to high school. We want that to happen, and we are praying that we'll be able to partner with many organizations, many banks, so that we are able to really truly champion young people with disabilities. When these young people finish high school, we want to see if we can do also they go overseas as well, just like everyone else, through scholarships. And that is really what we want to champion right now. So, and we want to give people, a lot of people have been asking us, how can we be a part of it? So you can be a part of the Stop FGM, and you can also be a part of championing education for young people with disabilities.
This commitment to country was in full display during the recently concluded Daring Abroad Investment Forums in Australia. The Tanuis showed their support not only through attendance, but also being quite instrumental in mobilizing the participation of Kenyans in Australia, including celebrated gospel artist Emmy Koskei.
The forums have been amazing, and the team that came from Kenya, it's been really amazing to make it easy. It's made it very easy for people in Australia to actually invest, talk to, most of them were CEOs or very high people in those companies, so you trust. There was a lot of trust in the team that you came with, and this is something that should continue, because people come, they're going to school, they're working, yes, they have little money, but there is no one to trust to actually guide them with investments. So the forum, the Daring Abroad Forum, I think was more than necessary for people living abroad.
The power couple has indeed made a huge mark in Australia. Their wish is for the same to be achieved in Kenya.
Every person with a disability should live like anybody else in the society.
Yeah.
So they factored in all those elements of traffic lights, buses. People with disabilities should also be able to access them easily without any hardship. It's time the government comes on board. I know the president currently is building affordable housing, but I think they have not factored in people with disabilities. And I think it's a high time that they also consider people with disabilities. They should live just like anybody else in the community.
Whether in business or charity work, you can bet that Bernard and Emily Tanui will display excellence in everything they touch, a testament to what can be achieved when you take full advantage of opportunities presented. And that's Daring Abroad.
As you saw there, the Tanuis were quite instrumental in the success of our Daring Abroad Investment Forums Australia chapter, and now we are headed to the UK. This week, find us in Tring, Hertfordshire at the Pendley Manor Hotel from Friday to Sunday as we host the UK chapter of the continuing series Daring Abroad Investment Forums. And on behalf of my crew, always a pleasure having your company. See you again next time.